The Alamo was not always referred to as the Alamo. It used to be called San Antonio de Velado. It was established in 1718. It was one of many Catholic missions organized as part of the official Spanish plan to Christianize Native Americans and colonize northern New Spain. Franciscan monks began building on their present site on the east side of the San Antonio River about 1724. During the winter of 1835 through 1836, the people of Texas decided to sever their relations with Mexico because of dissatisfaction with the Mexican government. Also, to prevent the success of this independence movement, in December of 1835, a Federalist army containing Texan immigrants, American volunteers, and their Tejano allies had captured the town from a centralist force during the siege of Bexar. This is how Texas gained the Alamo, and this is where the story of the Alamo begins. The men at the Alamo were caught by surprise when Santa Anna's army arrived at the Alamo on February 23, 1836, the first day of the 13-day battle. Travis did not believe that Santa Anna could reach Bexar until March 15. As Texans gathered in the Alamo, Travis dispatched a hastily scribbled message to Gonzales. "The enemy in large forces in sight. We want men and provisions. Send them to us. We have 150 men and are determined to defend the garrison to the last." Santa Anna sent a courier to demand that the Alamo surrender. Travis replied with a cannonball. Travis assumed full command when Bowie fell victim to a mysterious malady variously described as hasty consumption or typhoid pneumonia. As commander, Travis wrote his letter addressed to the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, in which he recounted that the fort had sustained a continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours. He pledged that he would never surrender or retreat, and swore victory or death. The predominant message, however, was an entreaty for help. "I call on you in the name of liberty, of patriotism, and everything dear to the American character, to come to our aid with all dispatch." On March 1st, 32 troops attached to Lieutenant George C. Kimball Gonzales Raging Company made their way through the enemy cordon and into the Alamo. Travis was grateful for any reinforcements, but knew he needed more. On March 3rd, Travis reported to the convention at Washington on the Brazos that he had lost faith in Colonel Fannin. "I look to the colonies alone for aid. Unless it arrives soon, I shall have to fight the enemy on his own terms." He grew increasingly bitter that his fellow Texans seemed deaf to his appeals. In a letter to a friend, Travis revealed his frustration. "If my countrymen do not rally to my relief, I am determined to perish in this defense of this place, and my bones shall reproach my country for her neglect." Day 12 of the siege. Santa Anna announced an assault for the following day. This sudden declaration stunned his officers. There was simply no valid military justification for the costly attack on a stronghold bristling with cannons. But ignoring these reasonable objections, Santa Anna stubbornly insisted on storming the Alamo. Around 5 a.m. on Sunday, March 6th, he hurled his columns at the battered walls from four directions. Texan gunners stood by the artillery, as about 1,800 assault troops advanced into range. Canister ripped through their ranks. Staggered by the concentrated cannon and rifle fire, the Mexican soldiers halted, reformed, and drove forward. Travis, among the first to die, fell on the North Bastion. At the end, the Texans fought using their rifles as clubs. Abandoning the walls, defenders withdrew to the dim rooms of long barracks. There, some of the bloodiest hand-to-hand fighting occurred. Bowie, too ravaged by illness to rise from his bed, found no pity. The chapel fell last. The assault had lasted no more than 90 minutes. As many as 7 defenders survived the battle, but Santa Anna ordered their summary execution. Many historians count Crockett as a member of that hapless contingent, an assertion that still provokes debate in some circles. By 8 o'clock, every Alamo fighting man lay dead. Currently, 189 defenders appear on the official list, but ongoing research may increase the final tally to as many as 257. Remember the Alamo became a battle cry. The determined defense of the Alamo gave General Sam Houston time to gather the forces he needed to save the independence movement of Texas. He retreated eastward, pursued by Santa Anna. At San Jacinto, Texas, he turned on the Mexicans, surprised them during an afternoon siesta, and on April 21st, in just 18 minutes, captured or killed most of the Mexican army of over 1,200 men. Houston's army captured Santa Anna the following day and forced him to sign a treaty granting Texas its independence.